let's talk history. Let's analyze what the fuck happened in this Dabbleverse, shall we?
Imagine growing up as a kid with a stutter, to having a recurring role on the most popular radio show of all time, then becoming the announcer on The Tonight Show, to walking the red carpet at movie premieres. With win after win, you'd probably feel like you could do anything. But what if it all went away? The fame, money, and respect, and you were reduced to reading insults for $2 at a time.
You know how many people are going to piss in your grave. Didn't you kick your dying cat? When you swallow KB, do you scrape it from your belly or do you drink straight from the spigot?
Inside.
For clothes that Tristan lost.
In 1988, at the age of 22, a young kid named John Melendez applied for an internship at the Howard Stern show.
I said, hey, I got this guy I go to school with. He sits next to me. He's a big fan of the show, and I think he'd be perfect. And he said, but he stutters. So he came into the office. I said, Howard, I'm interviewing this intern. He stutters. And Howard just stopped what he was doing cold and looked at me, total seriousness, and said, hire him. And I said, I haven't even met him yet. He said, hire him. He goes, the guy stutters, hire him.
Since John had a stutter, Howard thought it would be funny to have John ask celebrities on the red carpet the craziest and most embarrassing questions. And Howard was right. It was cringe, awkward, and absolutely hilarious.
By any chance, do you ever accidentally fart in the catcher's face?
Who the hell are you?
For John's sake.
That kind of damn question. See you later.
If you go to the bathroom in space, does it float in the air?
Did you hear this?
Do you think that ugly people should have children?
I don't think ugly people should have children, no. I told your mother that. Big deal.
Are you pro-abortion? Yes. All right, Ed. And as I look around me, I see a lot of missed opportunities.
These segments became very popular with the Stern audience, which in turn gave John more airtime and even more exposure. And with that exposure, we got to see John's true talent, being the back office gossip and shit stirrer.
You're laughing. Yeah.
About 2 weeks ago, Jackie's driving, right?
Yeah.
I see him, and he only has, one headlight on.
Right.
So I'm like, Jackie, when he got in, I go, you got to get the headlight fixed.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, I know. So today, he got pulled over for one headlight.
What's the big deal? It's always like, what's the big deal, man?
The Stern Show audience loved the fights that followed, but it didn't make for a very healthy workplace environment. And to this day, John and Gary still don't have a very friendly relationship. It may be due to John taking extra pleasure in torturing Gary.
Because Howard was laughing, so and then you sit here and shut up.
I mean, you just
shut up. Do some work and shut up.
You got to pick on. It's amazing.
Because you don't do anything. You don't help in any way.
Everything you ask me.
Gary dealt with this behavior a lot. John was always trying to undermine Gary. It stemmed from John's insecurity about his own work ethic. His lack of work ethic was the main reason he worked at the Stern Show for 15 years, but couldn't get any higher than a phone screener.
Stand there and
Be
mock
honest.
me.
Be honest.
Well, I laughed, but you weren't laughing?
I wasn't laughing. I was laughing at you because you're sitting there giggling
Exactly.
at Gary.
You stand there like the court jester. No, it's true.
All right, whatever.
No, you don't see yourself.
All right.
John's like, oh, okay. I can even go into this idiot's head now. He's going to go, no, I get Howard. You don't want to get Gary upset, so you're just saying that. But the truth is, John, you sit there and you mock me.
I wasn't.
John's attitude didn't go unnoticed by others as well.
Yes, Casey.
Howard, that is the biggest pet peeve I have about John. It's just that you are such a ball breaker. I mean, he's trying to get stuff done, and you just sit there and you just laugh.
John's ability to annoy and instigate didn't just start verbal arguments. They sometimes led to physical altercations.
You're so lame. You're so lame.
You're an asshole, man.
Fuck you, man. Fuck you, man. The fuck? Come on, don't fucking go. Hey. I'll fuck you up, man. Fuck you. I'll fuck your fucking face up. Hey, fucking asshole, man. Fucking piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. What, you can't take a little fucking joke, Ralph? No, I'm fucking sick, all right, John? Shit, I'll fucking slap you in the fucking face.
There was just something about John. When people got to know him, They didn't like him.
Chris, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi. I suffer from insomnia, and I tried sleeping pills, I tried sedatives, I tried everything, and I finally found something that cures my insomnia. AJ After Hours.
Hey, man.
What is that?
What is this? Come on.
I'll tell you something right now. No, it's okay. It's all right. If you can say that. But I will do one thing before I leave today.
Yes.
I'm gonna grab Stuttering John by the face, and I'm gonna punch him right in his friggin' head. One more call gets through, and you're dead, you fat bastard.
Yeah, Mel, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Howard, the only thing more embarrassing was the AJ After Hours show.
Oh. Get that John right now.
And you know
that John right now.
And you know who's really embarrassed?
Who?
Even more embarrassed of that show than AJ?
Who?
His hair jumped right off his head to get away from him.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
I knew it was John. I knew it.
Get him in right now. I swear to Christ, when I leave. You're doing it? All right, let me tell you something.
You fat bastard.
You better leave early. No, they'll be tomorrow.
I'm going to smack you silly, you.
Tomorrow's story. Actually, the next break.
Yeah.
After the break, come
Hey,
back.
Howard, AJ stands for arrogant jerk, by the way.
Oh,
What's
what
stand
happened
for what?
with you guys?
Stand for what?
Arrogant jerk.
I swear to
what
God,
happened with
the
you
next
two?
break, you watch what happens. I don't care if I ever come back again. I'm going to go in there and punch you.
And listen, I have some free hats for a little,
I'll go right now.
a good wig for you to wear back here, AJ.
John just didn't know when to quit.
I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat you worse than Chuck Zito.
They said I can't punch you. Go on. Jesus, here goes. You want me? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. I'm up right now. I'll beat your ass, AJ. I'm up right now.
One of his most famous altercations was with Crazy Cabby, which eventually led to a pay-per-view boxing match.
Mustang.
You don't know what I asked for.
You're the dumbest guy alive.
You don't know what I asked for. You don't know what
stupid
I.
ass.
You don't know my deal.
What a stupid ass Morozak, Moronzak, whatever you call yourself.
All right, here it is. Here it is.
Bozozak. What the hell are you? Come on, Cabby.
No, guys, no.
Oh, will you get ready? Stop.
Guys, easy.
Where's our security?
Stop.
God, they can't stop.
Stop, guys, stop. It's enough.
Now, there's been a lot said about this boxing match. John did win by decision, but some say it was fixed, and others agree with the result that John did land more punches. But the way I see it, if you didn't watch the fight and you just walked in on the aftermath, you would have thought Cabby destroyed John. Cabby's face didn't even look like it was touched, while John's face, it was a puffy, bloody mess.
Howard, I got to tell you one thing. I'm standing right here in the ring. There's a big puddle of blood from where John was just standing.
After all, the point of a fight is to be less injured than your opponent by the end. This moment was a big contributing factor to John's inflated ego on the Stern Show. The best example of this is when Stuttering John actually thought he could become a pro football player. Just a reminder, John claims to be 5'7" and 170 pounds. And he's never even played high school football.
You got to hear this.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yeah, we got a good one for you.
What's going on?
Stuttering John made the claim that he could be a football player. So, wait. Listen to this. So, he said he could probably, make indoor arena football.
Okay.
So the guy from the New York Dragons called us up, which is indoor arena football.
Yep.
And he said, all right, I'll give John a tryout. And John thinks he's going to make first cut. And those guys are going to kill him.
No, he's going to be cut first.
Yeah,
That's right.
everyone's
getting a little too confident after boxing.
No, it's nothing to do with that.
That's exactly.
You know what? What is this? Does John want to race me, or does he want to be a football player?
I want to race you
what's more
first, just to
important
even
to
see if I can compete with any. If I can't beat you in a race, then you're a tight end.
Oh my goodness.
Artie, if
Look at
I
him.
beat Marco, you're not going to be a little like.
He's not going to.
You're not going to beat Marco. I've seen Marco train.
John, there's no way that you'll beat Marco. He'll beat you by.
Marco's fast.
He'll be standing there waiting
by 10
for
yards.
you.
10 or 20 yards.
Bring him over by the gym. Bring him by today.
Okay.
All right.
Bye, Marco.
You're going down, Marco.
All right.
Runners on your marks. Set. Go.
I'm just curious, because now this will really shut my fantasy up.
What's your fantasy?
I always thought I can do a good job, but I guess not.
if fucking Marco could beat me.
Marco, the NFL football player.
I'm just curious to see what I could do a 40 in.
Set, go!
5, 2, 5. Watch. Tell me this. What? 5, 2, 5. I called it before you did it. You know what? You're already cut. Good job.
Yeah, all right, so I'm cut.
I know what you're thinking. Great. He was humbled. But that's the thing about John. He can't be humbled because he will spin it in his head and say something stupid like this.
I'm only 0.8 of a second behind him. I'm only 0.8 behind.
0.8 of a second. I know not everyone is a sports fan, so let me explain how ignorant that comment is and put this in perspective. Wide receivers in the NFL usually run the 40-yard dash in about 4.2 to 4.5. So that means they are running around 9 yards per second. So since John was 0.8 slower, that means if John was covering a wide receiver on a 40-yard pass, John would be about 7 to 8 yards behind the receiver. This is what that would look like. And as they say, football is a game of inches. So even if a receiver had 1 yard of room, he'd at least catch the ball nearly every play, let alone having 7 yards of room. I feel it's important to explain because this is how John operates today. He uses the big victories in life, like the cabbie fight, to feed his ego. But he also refuses to take the losses in life and learn from them. He'll instead ignore the loss or spin the loss in some twisted way to make it a win. This contributes to his delusions of thinking he's always winning or coming out on top. To this day, the win over Cabby has made John believe he can fight nearly anyone and win. This is John nearly 30 years later. He's trying to fight someone double his size, and I believe 20 to 25 years younger.
Fucking guy. Think about my fucking family. The next time I come back, I won't be talking.
We'll get more into this later. Now, earlier I said John couldn't be humbled. That's not completely true. There are a couple of exceptions. There were people like Howard that were able to humble John, and that's because John considered Howard as being better than him. And trust me, John definitely needed reality checks now and again. Because with each success, John would start to overestimate his importance and contributions to the success of the Howard Stern show. The biggest problem is that John thought he was purposely funny, when in fact it was the writers around him, like Jackie and Fred, who made John funny. As unfortunate as it may seem, John is meant to be laughed at instead of laughed with. If you compare John to his successors, Richard Christie and Sal Governal, it's a stark difference. Richard and Sal produced bits, cut and edited tapes, wrote jokes, made prank calls along with being on-screen personalities. The only thing they really didn't do was screen phone calls. Once John left, they were able to split that job between Will, Jason, and sometimes Benji. Goes to show how easy that job was considering how much work Jason and Will already did. As far as John's comedic ability, everyone could see that John really wasn't that witty, and that lack of wit was on display when he did his interviews. Although the questions written for John were undoubtedly funny, when it was time for John to go off script, John's retorts mainly consisted of things like pointing out what a person was wearing.
Get in here. You look like a slob.
Really? Well, I'm sorry. I don't have fake, jackets.
I don't have anything fake, especially my brain, punk. Blow your ass out of here.
You can see why when John bragged about how funny he thought he was, it could get annoying to the real comedians like Jackie, Fred, and Artie. And that's why it was so satisfying when Howard would tell John the harsh truth.
First of all, regarding you, Stuttering John, you are a guy who perceives himself as funny. When you go on the Ricky Lake show, when you go on the Last Call show, when you do these shows, when you go on the Conan show, you turn to people inevitably afterwards and you go, hey, was I funny? I'm going to tell you something about yourself. You are the least funny person I've ever met. You are not funny.
Okay.
You're obnoxious. Okay. You're not funny.
All right.
I know you think you're funny. Do you think you're funny?
Yeah.
Tell the truth. Do you think you're funny? Do you think you're a funny person?
Yeah.
You're not.
Okay.
John would also lean on the shock value of homophobic or racist material to make up for his lack of wit.
Whatever, but I mean, I think he's a faggot for not finding racist.
Oh, crazy man.
Now, I'm not saying I'm offended by this type of humor. I subscribe to the Patrice O'Neill school of thought. As long as the joke comes from a place of being funny, then I don't care.
It's funny. This is the thing. I don't know her, but I'm assuming that she has nothing to do with funny. So I'm gonna speak as the expert on funny. Funny people should just be left to trying to be funny.
What if they're not funny?
Then you made a mistake. But how many times has how many unfunny rape jokes lead to rape? Like,
I don't know how many jokes about rape there are.
There's a lot, but your world is not funny. Your world is next on the big story. My world is people trying to be funny.
Well, I mean, you think it's okay to try to make jokes about rape?
I'm diabetic. I make fun of that. I'm a victim. I might lose a toe. But I'm trying to make fun of. I'm trying to make fun of anything I think I can make fun of.
So I don't think majority of people have a problem with John making off-color jokes. The problem is, John today will demonize anyone who makes a politically incorrect joke and goes so far as to report people for making those jokes.
I've already contacted the LGBTQ plus. I contacted 3 organizations so far.
When in fact, John has made a career off those very same jokes.
Okay, all right. Okay. Take it easy, really. All right. Calm down. All right, now we're rocking. You see? That I like.
Here's a story about a Jew's success.
What?
A Jew's success.
A Jew?
You know, I just...
Why would I play that?
You know,
What was this? He's real upper class?
No, he grew up with blacks.
This is good.
He grew up with what?
He grew up with blacks. His mind was a mess.
Yes, you always say that you grow up, you know, it gets good now, and now it just starts happening.
What does it say,
A
Jew boy?
story.
No, it goes, poor little Jew boy thought he was a coon. And then you keep going.
Poor little Jew boy thought he was a coon.
No, you gotta listen, it's good.
While working for The Stern Show, John also had a band.
The man sent by Stern to ask celebrities the rudest questions imaginable is trying his hand at a new career, his first love, music.
In your face, rock and roll.
With the possibility of John's band being mentioned on The Stern Show, John was able to acquire a record deal with Atlantic. Now, was the contract earned because the band was great? Probably not. The music was average at best. But John did get to open for Ozzy, so the band was at least adequate enough to play in front of a crowd. John was infamously paid very poorly at The Stern Show, so John would organize weekend comedy shows with extremely talented comedians like Jim Florentine, Artie Lang, Nick DiPaolo, Jim Norton, and Bob Levy. The comedians would say, John would do 15 minutes on stage, 10 minutes of which was John playing a tape of his celebrity interviews. Then the real comedians would carry the rest of the show, while John took home the majority of the money. John would also work the phones and try to get free stuff from Howard's fans, like Yankee tickets and stock market tips. This definitely would rub Howard the wrong way.
By the way, what was John talking about? In other words, when he sits behind home plate, they bring him vodka and cranberry?
It's like catered stuff.
Absolute and cranberry.
And how does he sit behind home plate?
Oh, somebody gives him tickets.
Who gives him tickets? The people? You mean through me he gets them?
I got a friend I mooch off.
He has connections.
He mooches off of my name. At what point do you stop working my telephones for gifts? At what point?
Are you out of your mind?
For free stock tips, for free IPOs? No. Let me tell you something, Johnny boy. I'm wise to you.
Wise to me? It's a friend I have in 7 years.
No, you don't have a friend for 7 years. It's a listener of mine that calls in, and how come I can't figure out how to glom off my listeners, but you can?
Whatever.
After 15 years of working for Stern, John was at a point where he wanted to leave, so John began looking for something better. And he got the break he was looking for. He landed a spot on the reality TV show, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. This gave John an opportunity to be exposed to a wider audience. And John was eventually noticed by the people from The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. They asked John to audition for the announcer's job. And to everyone's surprise, he got the job. Now all John had to do was tell Howard.
It's a shame you got to do that.
Hey, it's also a shame that Stuttering John's last day today, and now we're talking about this all the time.
Hey, you know what, though? Mel was talking to me about that. He goes, John's a traitor. I go, really? What is that all about? He goes, look, he said, what you did for this guy, there was nobody on the planet he couldn't pick up the phone and call you beforehand or go to you in the hall. He goes, at least say to you, hey, something's up.
And you know what's weird, Howard? For 15 years, I've been paid literally nothing. So suddenly I'm supposed
How did you get 2 homes?
You know what? Because every weekend I'm out on. I'm not blaming you for it, but I'm saying suddenly I'm
maybe you would have. Maybe he would have. So maybe he would have seen you to give him a shot.
And I've talked to Mel. 2 years ago, I've had a long conversation begging him.
All right, but the point is, why wouldn't you come and say to anyone?
I still made nothing.
Why wouldn't you come to someone and say you got another job offer?
That's what it would have taken for you guys to pay me yeah. That's what it takes in any business.
That's the way it is. You feel John's a liar?
A total liar.
Why?
Because that you pointed it out like 5 seconds ago. If he really wanted to get a hold of you, he would have called you. Right. You made a good point. I got an email about 2 weeks ago saying you bought a house in California.
Yeah.
Sent the email.
Untrue.
But do you have a house in California?
You named the town. You named the town. B, you got the price wrong. And C, I don't want to...
But did you buy a house in California?
It doesn't matter.
Yes,
I don't know.
Did you buy a house
where I'm living?
in California?
You just ask if you bought a house in California.
Before you announced on this show and before you told Howard?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
if John bought a house in California before he told anyone, that means he never intended to at least try and stay at the Stern Show. While obviously inebriated, he later admitted during a radio interview in New Jersey the real reason why he left Stern.
But for me to go to the Tonight Show was not about the money. It was all about, I didn't want to, hear Howard in my head every day and talking to us on the show, at least to me, and saying, I'm worthless, I'm not funny. The only reason why I make money is because I stutter and all these things. I mean, he told me to abort my first child.
Oh, my God.
Because I wasn't fit to be a father. But this is all on the air.
On the air, he said this?
Yes, and this is all stuff that people don't understand. They go, oh, well, is Howard a good guy off the air? And I'll go, he's a great guy off the air. And they would say, well, then on the air is all an act. I go, no, off the air is all an act.
Oh, really?
Because Howard, the real Howard is what you hear on the radio. That's what it was. So, I couldn't wait to get out there. When I met my wife and the mother of my 3 children, when I met her, I said, that was like 5 years in, for me on the Stern Show. I said, Susanna, I got to get out of here. I can't, I can't hear all this.
With Stern out of his life and a $500,000 paycheck, John's future was looking bright. John was put in a perfect position to succeed.
Night Show with Jay Leno.
Hey, John, shut up, will you? You got the job. Can't make me this up, will you?
Hey. It's the Tonight Show with Jay Leno. Jay
Now, John, you have to relax. All the monologue, he's sitting like this. Learn to relax. Are you relaxed?
Oh, Jay, I'm so relaxed.
Good. Now, stop doing that stupid announcer voice.
Unfortunately for John, success wasn't inevitable. John's chemistry with Jay was awkward, and within weeks, John was moved into the audience and saw less screen time. Gossip columnist Mike Walker later wrote in his book, Jay discovered misconceptions about their new hire. Jay found out Melendez, quote, wasn't particularly funny, and Jay was furious because he was led to believe John wrote all those funny questions to celebrities when he was on Stern. John was described as a fish out of water. A veteran writer and producer said, everyone in the business knows a mistake was made when hiring John, and there is no such thing as stuttering John, just a guy named John Melendez, who became the character shaped by the genius of Howard Stern. However, John did stay on staff until the end, when The Tonight Show finally went off the air, but his on-air time was diminished to only humiliating bits. While the celebrity and street interviews were given to the far more talented Ross the Intern and Jim Norton. But before The Tonight Show went off the air, John was able to accomplish something big. He created and starred in his own movie. And not just any movie, one of the worst movies of all time. In fact, the only thing entertaining were the reviews.
Hi.
Were you here for John's movie?
Yes, it was great.
How was it?
Excellent.
It was actually, it started like 3 minutes ago.
It did?
Yeah, here you are walking out. And you loved it too?
We did.
The reviews are in. The first minute and a half are fantastic.
I gotta be flat out about this. This is the worst movie I've ever seen.
The IMDb reviews were far less kind, with one user writing, "There's nothing worse than someone who thinks they're funny, and they're simply not. Stuttering John Melendez embodies that. He's only famous because Howard Stern exploited him and wrote him funny questions to embarrass celebrities with. This celluloid abortion is almost impossible to get through, and there's not a single laugh throughout it. Shame on Jeffrey Ross for allowing himself to appear in this piece of crap." After The Tonight Show went off the air in 2013, John's career rapidly went into decline. The highest profile gig he was able to get was hosting the Pro Football Arm Wrestling Championship. He also became the co-host of the Stephanie Miller podcast. But that didn't last too long. John's misogyny didn't play well with the audience demographic, made up of mostly liberal women. Not to mention, he would show up late, sometimes with beer in hand, and he didn't have the intellect to keep up with a political conversation. Also, the fans had let it be known that they weren't happy whenever John appeared on the show. Stephanie Miller's Facebook would be bombarded with these types of comments. How can we have a discussion about Donald Trump's sexual misconduct while stuttering John is so creepy on your show? Going to have to stop listening on Fridays. How could you let this go on this morning? Poor Vanessa. So disappointed. Now, I'm not sure what happened during this incident, but it appears John was getting really weird. It's no wonder John only lasted a few weeks on the show. With no real prospects for the future, and having abandoned his wife of 15 years in 2012 because he, quote, didn't want to eat pizza every night. So now John owed large child support payments, and John was forced to get a day job. He worked as a mail delivery man and Uber driver. This appeared to be when John hit rock bottom. But people have been predicting this for years, especially when it came to the demise of John's relationship.
Linda, go ahead. You're on the air.
We have. I'm telling you.
I believe that.
Howard, I have a theory. I think Susanna has a grand plan. When that woman comes to her senses and goes to the divorce lawyer, is he going to have a field day with the grounds for divorce? He's going to pay for through the nose for that waitress service he's getting.
Right.
Only 50% is allowed.
He is so delusional. He is the most delusional man when it comes to relationships and people.
John would have you think that everything is fine in his life. After all, John, on multiple occasions, has stated he's a genius when it comes to investing, and was receiving $500,000 a year for 10 years. With modest investments, he should have $2 million in the bank, right? Wrong. John was doing crappy stand-up gigs at potato bars and lived in a small roach-infested condo in Los Angeles. And with this desperation, John was forced to try something new: podcasting. John admitted he was never good with technology. So to start a podcast, John was going to need to hire a producer. So John hired Royce to co-host and produce the Stuttering John podcast. Initially, John was able to get some high-profile guests. He had guests like Guy Fieri, Larry the Cable Guy, and even Jay Leno. But this didn't result in views. So, to try to get some heat for his podcast, John decided to see if he could get President Trump on the phone. But John used some nefarious tactics to do so. John pretended to be Senator Bob Menendez, which is highly illegal. Federal law states you can't impersonate a federal employee with intent to deceive another person. This comes with a penalty of up to 3 years in prison. But incredibly, John was able to actually get Trump on the phone, and John wasn't charged with any crime. Matter of fact, it made global news.
The Secret Service is looking for comedian John Melendez following his prank call to President Trump as he flew on Air Force One.
Hi, Bob. Congratulations on everything. We're proud of you. Congratulations. Great job.
With the renewed interest in Melendez, the question was, could he capitalize on his recent exposure? John did do some interviews.
It was just ridiculous. You know, we were on my podcast, the Stuttering John podcast, and my producer Royce just says, we didn't have a guest, and hey, let's just call the White House.
They didn't jump on it at first.
Well, that's why
it wasn't funny.
But Kirk, but here's the thing, and I agree, like the call itself wasn't funny.
But these interviews didn't lead anywhere. John just wasn't accepted by the mainstream. Once the prank call left the news cycle in a week, the only reason people wanted to talk to John was to reminisce about the Stern days. John was still looking to find a steady job in entertainment, and John thought he might have found that place. And that was as second mic with another shock jock, the controversial Anthony Cumia. If you didn't already know, Anthony was part of the Opie and Anthony radio show. This was the only show that ever really came close to rivaling The Stern Show. And Anthony's widely considered as one of the funniest people ever to do radio.
Who set the fucking studio up this morning?
Uh-oh.
Okay, my headset's been cutting out all day. Why do I have STU on my headset instead of Jim?
They forgot the PID.
Precious might win, but she's actually hurt. The actress.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got hit with the
biplane guns.
No.
Jesus. His perfect impressions and sharp wit kept even the best comics on their toes. But a racial Twitter rant that Anthony went on after being assaulted in the streets of New York eventually got Anthony fired from his job at Sirius Satellite Radio. The story was all over the news and made every newspaper. But unlike John, Anthony had millions of dollars saved. And so, Anthony started his own podcasting network called Compound Media. Rumors had it that Compound Media paid very well. With lucrative contracts and a fridge full of free beer, it was John's dream. So every time John would be a guest on the Anthony Cumia show, he turned it into an audition. According to stories told by Anthony and others, John would ask Keith, the man running things behind the scenes, if he thought he did a good job after every appearance. And Keith, being a nice guy, would tell John that he did great. And like we mentioned earlier, this inconsequential comment would inflate John's ego, and John would in turn interpret it as Anthony wants John as second mic. Truth be told, Anthony never even considered John for second mic. Anthony wanted John's far more talented former co-worker, Artie Lang. Anthony eventually hired Lang, and they started the Artie and Anthony show. This destroyed John's ego, and John immediately became defensive. So defensive, in fact, John sabotaged his own guest appearance on the AA show. And this point in history is where many believe the Genesis of the Dabbleverse began.
It's the Artie and Anthony show, of course, with my co-host, Artie Lang.
Yeah. Why did you get Artie? Look at the seat.
Oh, no, it's
Artie seats with fucking sides. The guy's 800 pounds.
Artie hadn't arrived at the studio yet, but that didn't stop John from making jokes at Artie's expense.
Fits in there like a sardine.
Now, of course, I gather Artie is a little
late. Yeah.
Heard? Keith doesn't have a microphone.
No, he's
Keith doesn't have him.
Artie's on heroin time.
Oh my God!
As I said earlier, Artie hasn't arrived yet. And Artie was battling some very personal demons. But John, who claims to be his friend, is immediately going at Artie with some extremely personal attacks. This is so important because today, whenever anyone calls John out for going below the belt, John will constantly repeat the second-grade excuse of, they started it.
Go right for the jugular.
Of course.
Of course. He says it with such pride, as if it's completely normal to go on with personal attacks about your supposed friend during a podcast broadcast to thousands of people. And this isn't the only time John does this during the podcast.
What? One of Artie's big things is...
Oh yeah, there's a lot of Artie big things.
See, but...
I'm not talking about his weight, I'm talking about his fucking, the heroin he's got in his pocket.
Oh, jeez. Now, he's not here to defend himself right now.
As I mentioned earlier, this is what many consider as the genesis of the John hate. And it wasn't because he just made some bad jokes about Artie. It was also his behavior and his inability to take a joke. I'm not talking about the vicious and personal attacks that John was dishing out. I'm talking friendly ribbing you would expect with a group of comedians on a podcast.
And we would always have a good time. It was never anything. And then I knew that when the cancer came, when Artie came into this show, Artie was gonna get fucking you to start fucking goofing on me. And like clockwork, it happened. And, and then day after day, you would goof on me. Day after day, you would goof on me. And I'm like, what the fuck? Artie turned Anthony in 2 fucking shows.
No, this is not.
How easily you turn.
This is not true. I could look back at certain tweets that I made before we were even talking about Artie being on my show, where I talked about El Chapo. I said that,
I did that bit a year ago.
Yeah. But it's still funny.
Yes, I look exactly like the fucking.
So when we
got arrested in fucking Baja the other day.
So when Artie brought that up, I was like, yeah, fuck, it's funny. And
oh, wait. Stop sugarcoating this bullshit.
Stuttering Juan is kind of funny.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I don't mind shit. But then you go and goofing on my movie.
Well, okay.
That was it. They said John looked like El Chapo and made fun of John's extremely terrible movie. So in John's mind, that warrants his attacks on Artie's drug use. And to be fair, he does look like fucking El Chapo. But I guess the most infuriating part about this is John is being extremely sensitive to very mild jokes. Let's not forget, John came from the Stern Show, and while he was there, John was known for busting balls. And we all saw how relentless John was being when it came to AJ Benza. But here John is, being a giant pussy, because Artie and Anthony made some jokes about El Chapo and John's movie sucking. But John's hypocrisy isn't the only thing in this episode that made people who were watching it go crazy. It was also the way John treated the Compound Media staff.
And I said, Gary, what part of a fucking empty beer do you not get?
Oh! But just to address the cold shoulder staff thing, there was a little confusion, I think, because, when John was doing his podcast from here, he was supposed to, maybe take care of the staff, was he understanding, at the studio for free, and maybe leave a couple beers in the refrigerator, but apparently the guy said John drank all the beer and then walked out and, give a reach to the guys.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm used to the fucking Tonight Show, Keith, where they have all the beer and they don't expect tips.
No, we do have all the beer. It's just maybe you don't just drink it all.
Am I
don't
the
know.
Pickwick Pub in Woodland Hills? I gotta leave a tip when I get a fucking beer? Get the fuck out of here. Next one. Garrett, you got a problem? Let's do it right now, motherfucker. I'm gonna start tipping for fucking Coors Lights.
John focuses on the beer because he knows he's wrong.
No, not tipping them for their service of recording the podcast.
Nobody asked me for tips.
I said just take care of the staff.
I go to your house.
Yeah.
We hang out and we drink beer. Do you ever ask me for a tip?
No. I think this is more of a business setting.
Right.
And
we gave you the studio for free, but I said take care of the guys.
I didn't know you were that hurting for money.
No, we're not hurting for money. We just do right. We do right by our friends. They do right by the guys. That's all.
Buy some more bullets for your fucking gun.
It's not for me. It's for the staff.
He's gonna need them after this show.
Here's your $20 in. This is $20 for the fucking shitty beer you served me last time I was here.
Quite the stack you got there. What are those, singles?
No, they're not fucking Pockies. They're not Pocky.
Oh, look, he goes right for the jugular.
Those are 20s.
Of course, John gets personal with Anthony again and calls him Pocky. If John would just shut the fuck up for a moment and listen, he would understand the argument isn't about beer. It's that the engineers volunteered their time to record John's terrible show. The least John could do is maybe throw them a couple bucks. The crazy part is that this even has to be explained to John. John was in a band. He should know that studio time costs quite a bit of money. The ego to expect this time for free without at least tipping is extremely self-centered.
It didn't really have anything to do with the beer.
Instead, he threw his empties all over the ground.
Okay.
Oh, yes. And they said they had to clean up after you, too.
Keith, let's go with your premise. So the 9 shows I've done, whenever you guys wanted me, I came here, I took the bullet.
Took the bullet? John's implying that it was a sacrifice for him to come on the show, as if John is doing Anthony the favor. At this time, John had nothing going on in his career. John 100% needed Anthony more than Anthony needed John. This is John's narcissism and delusion showing.
You do me one favor. And now I gotta fucking tip you?
Not me. You just had to take care of the staff. That's what we discussed.
Well, but nobody told me I was gonna take care of the
staff. I did, yeah. I said, the studio's free. It's our gift to you as our friend.
Yeah.
Just take care of the staff.
Okay, then I'm remiss.
Okay, thank you.
So John apologized. That's good, right? Well, not so fast.
Here is
guys,
how
they
much
apologize.
You want? How much you want? $1,000? Should I write you a check?
No, it's not to me. It's
want
to
a piece
the
of my fucking 401k?
What a dick. As the show went on, John continued to be a complete asshole. John actually started pestering Anthony to donate money to his senatorial campaign with a promise that if John got into office, John would get rid of all of Anthony's legal troubles. He's literally advertising that he's going to be a dirty politician who abuses his power to help out his donors. John is next level dumb. After a while, Anthony did get fed up with John's hypocritical behavior and finally decided to call out John on his bullshit.
Oh, a joke. Well, now let me start. He tells a joke. I'm supposed to identify it as a joke and not get mad.
Wasn't a
He tells
joke.
a joke about John, and it's heroin addict, pocky face, asshole, shithead, fuck this, fuck that.
From this point on, John knew that this appearance wasn't turning out like he wanted it to, and it only got worse because Artie showed up.
Was a friend. As a senator, I will support you as a friend.
Initially, everything was fine. Artie and John shared old stories, and everyone was getting along. Then the turn. Artie made a couple lighthearted jokes. Of course, this made John turn into a petulant little child. John knows he can't keep up comedically with Artie and Anthony, so John uses the only thing he has in his arsenal, which is personal attacks. So John would go back to the well and bring up Artie's drug use over and over.
Yeah, here he comes, Mr.
Hey, tell
fucking
the story.
comedy genius.
Tell the story.
Fucking heroin-induced Seinfeld over
See
here.
what he does? Right to heroin.
Right? Yeah.
Seinfeld.
That's not what I do. That's what you do.
The worst part is, John doesn't get the hint. Every time John does a heroin joke, no one laughs. Also, John thinks it's okay to make these jokes about his friend, but he thinks this is over the line.
You got a lawsuit. Look at that picture. You look retarded.
You know, that's not.
Look at that. You don't
that's
like
not
that.
a politically correct term
Are you
anymore,
okay?
Artie.
What is John Melendez?
It's mentally challenged.
I find this so weird because he felt like he had to call this out. Yet earlier in the episode, John couldn't care less that Anthony said this.
If I even love Ben.
Great time, wherever he is.
I love
He's sucking a
Anthony.
cock somewhere. A little faggot.
Is he gay? That's what those guys
don't
are
know.
implying.
Wow, it's amazing that John called out the word retard, but didn't say anything about that, especially since 2 out of 3 of his children are part of the LGBTQ community. Well, actually, it's not that big of a surprise. John was recently recorded on a phone call using that exact word, but we'll cover the complete phone call later in part 2. As the show went on, Artie and Anthony showed how much funnier they were compared to John. It wasn't even close. To anyone who hasn't heard the episode in its entirety, I highly recommend it. John did more crazy things like challenging Artie to a roast battle. Then later, while Artie went to the restroom, John interrupted an ad read so he could complain about Artie some more. It also came out that John was broke and borrowed $2,000 from Artie. Eventually, John looked defeated and wanted to leave, but not without a couple more zingers by the gang.
Okay.
What are they moving everybody out?
No, they heard you were doing comedy.
Oh, there we go.
We brought up the fact.
Go.
That's the problem I have. Guys, I started.
The problem you have is piling up in front of you.
Even Joe DeVito got in on the action.
The lazy Susan of bad jokes.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Artie, look at Gino laughing at Artie. Let me kiss Artie.
Everyone's laughing.
Everyone's kissing Artie's ass. We gotta
The
get in there.
audience, everybody's
Let
kissing.
John talk so we can stop laughing.
Oh.
Oh, now you're on the fucking boat?
This was all caused by John. This entire appearance could have went differently if John didn't immediately start attacking nearly everyone. He attacked Anthony, Artie, Keith, the engineers, and Gino. The only one he didn't attack was Joe DeVito, and that's because John didn't know him, so he couldn't think of something personal to attack.
Oh, you always trash my comedy.
I do not, John. I do not.
The only time I've ever seen Artie take it to another level is after you've gone so far into, like, the really insulting territory.
John, I never said anything.
That's all, John.
You talk about it.
All right, whatever.
What is that?
Oh, look, he's at the all right, whatever phase.
And this is when John left. Later that night, John had a stand-up comedy gig at the Brokerage Comedy Club, and Anthony attended.
How many people went to the brokerage? I bet there were 4 people there.
I was there Friday night.
Oh, you were? Oh,
I
you are
went
such a ball breaker.
Friday night.
Good for you. You show up. Did John do well?
Well,
I'll ask it again. Did John do well?
The crowd was a little sparse, let's say. It was the first time I was ever able to park in the park.
You parked on the stage. There's room in the green room for you to park.
So these are very lighthearted jokes, not unlike the jokes told on the Opie and Anthony show. The difference is, real comics wouldn't get offended.
they gonna show up? No, if anywhere that they don't listen to the radio, who knows you, stupid?
That's what I'm saying.
You're about as unknown as me if it wasn't for Opie and Anthony.
That's not true.
You
He did Spider-Man. He was in the movie Spider-Man.
I mean,
Big role.
I couldn't be as unknown as you. He's 6'8" and invisible.
This is how real comics react to jokes. They'll come back with their own joke, or laugh it off. But not John.
Just like a bitch would, like a spoiled, like a scorned bitch. Of course, I'm talking about stuttering John Melendez. But comics can bust each other's balls, and it's funny, and they get it, and they don't leave angry. Stuttering John Melendez, who is not a comic, can't take that. He cannot take slight little jokes about him and just turns around and just makes things very personal and in not even in a joking way. Now, I watched the show, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. But when I was done and ready to leave, I said, John, hey, good job. Good job. You know, I'll see you around. And I left. And then I came on the show and gave him that much criticism of his show. That much. Well, that much made John lose his fucking mind. And now the motherfucker is on Twitter just getting personal, all butthurt and angry. He texted Keith and said,
"Here, we have the text.
What did he say? Fucking asshole. There it is. Tell Anthony I said he's a lying sack of shit. My brother, Mike, and I are shocked that he would lie about his experience at my show. It was a great experience at the Stuttering John Melendez show. Right up until Stuttering John Melendez got on the fucking stage."
With help from Artie, who showed up late again, Anthony went on for an hour about how terrible John is. This sent John into a rage. 3 days later on John's podcast, he went on a tirade. And for those who are first being introduced to John, if you really wanted to get to know John's behavior when John gets angry and seeks revenge, this podcast had nearly everything in John's arsenal. So let's break down the arguments of someone who completely lacks self-awareness. Number 1, John will attack someone's appearance, and not in a witty way.
He's Pocky. Hey, the Pocky and Pudgy show. He's Pocky.
Number 2, his insults are a projection of himself.
You know, I said Anthony's alone in his empty house, and he's got fake friends. Because Artie doesn't have... Look, and I think Artie has said this, Artie's lazy. He doesn't have the motivation to... Like, he hated having to do his own show, and, you know, I mean, he showed up late for his own show.
Really? The president could be on time for Gazelle.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hillary Clinton's on time.
Hello. She was.
Yeah.
She was.
All right.
But John Melendez.
Sit the down. Sit the down. Yes, where she wanted to go.
I've been waiting on you. I've been waiting on you forever.
She's not waiting on you. No, you're sitting here. You're sitting here.
What's going on?
You're sitting here.
It's like,
Look
I
at him.
just
He's
walked
a
in
mess.
and they're getting loud.
Number 3, John will downplay other people's talents or outright contradict his previous statements just to insult another person.
You know, I have humility, and I'm rational, Anthony. Fucking, you are no Howard Stern. You're not even Opie. At least Opie fucking was a broadcaster. You really are unlistenable.
Number 4, John will say someone is a bad person because of their bad behavior, although John previously ignored said bad behavior.
You know, Anthony got fired, of course, because of his racist rant, which is fucking, I mean, I don't know, Anthony, you really think it's okay the way you act on your show? You think it's okay to talk the way you do?
Just a reminder, John has previously been on the Anthony Cumia show 9 times before making that statement.
9 times.
Number 5, John will make ambiguous threats like saying, "I know people," or "You'll see what happens."
And if you fucking do it again, Anthony, there will be repercussions. Ones that you don't even know. You don't know, Anthony.
Number 6, and one of the more popular ones, the physical threat.
And if you did that to my fucking face, I would beat the living shit out of you, Anthony. And there is no doubt that I can.
Number 7, another popular threat, the lawsuit.
And if you dare to do it again, I already have an attorney on this. Because if he incites any anger, any hate towards my children, I'm going to sue your fucking balls off, Anthony. You hear that? You pock-faced prick? I'm going to sue your fucking balls.
Number 8, John will threaten other people's children, because in his words, they started it.
Because Keith Maresca, you have children, don't you? Yeah. Do you want me to start a campaign about your children?
Number 9, exposing information like criminal history or just doxing people. The funny thing about this one is, majority of the time, the information is wrong.
Anthony, I got a lot of dirt on you. A lot. I'm sitting here, Royce, you can see the papers here. I got a lot of dirt on you, Anthony.
Now, there are plenty more nefarious tactics that John will implement to try and one-up somebody. And this didn't go unnoticed by one of the leading podcast review channels. Who are these podcasts? The host Carl completely eviscerated John's podcast. Carl wasn't just goofing on John for the obvious reasons, like John being unfunny, but he was able to pick apart John's hypocrisy and lies. At this time around 2020, John had a podcast where no one would call him out for his lies, and that's because hardly anyone watched. But Carl was a big fan of Howard Stern and the Opie and Anthony show, so when Carl heard bullshit, he was able to easily call him out.
This is Stuttering John saying Anthony Cumia isn't famous enough to write a book. It's Anthony from the Opie and Anthony show. It wasn't Howard and Stuttering John. He was a fucking bit character on Howard Stern's show. And he goes, oh, wasn't he a local DJ who was in those 3 markets? He was on XM Radio, you fucking idiot!
Carl was relentless on John. It was basically an hour of Carl bringing John back down to earth.
No, I was never a comedian. Well, Artie, I was making comedy films as soon as I got my first Super 8mm camera when I was in freaking 4th grade. And, I wrote my first sketch in junior high in 6th grade. And we got an A on it. It was called The Smothered Brother.
Did Stuttering John just brag about an A he got in 6th grade?
He sure did.
And he was telling Artie Lang that Artie Lang is wrong about how funny he is. Like, just so you know, Artie, you might think you know comedy. My teacher in 6th grade gave me an A on a film I made.
Glory days.
In typical John fashion, he made things so much worse. He started striking Carl's channel for copyright because Carl used video of John's podcast in the reviews. John, knowing nothing about the internet, thought this would get Carl's channel taken away. Of course, what Carl did was considered fair use, which meant Carl could use John's videos all he wanted as long as it was transformative. This angered John, so John doubled down and started implementing his childish tactics of threatening lawsuits and physical violence, all because John couldn't take criticism from someone John thought was beneath him. But instead of making Carl go away, it brought more hate to the already unlovable loser. And this wasn't the first time this happened with John. The first podcast John feuded with was Revenge of the Cis, because they also made fun of John's podcast. That went equally as bad for John.
I think because these things are going on, Mike, that it's important. The world is basically burning around us, and it's important for us to cover the things that really matter. So Stuttering John talked about us on his podcast, and I think...
Hey, you remember, I was there, remember when Shuli and Benji, remember those guys?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those guys, man. They were cool guys. It's this whole show now. It's so sad.
Even though both podcasts were very popular and receiving thousands of views for their takedowns of Stuttering John, something was missing. With a lot of internet trends, you just don't know what's going to catch people's attention. In John's universe, it was 3 moments. The Artie and Anthony show, WATP reviewing John's podcast, and while being interviewed by Chrissy Mayer, John getting offended by the most mundane word, dabbler.
Do you think that Trump has been good for comedy?
Is this whole interview going to be about Trump, or?
If you really don't want to talk about it, I just figured. I thought you had done. I thought you had dabbled occasionally in stand-up, so that's why I brought that up.
I dabbled occasionally, really.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was a thing you were really doing or not, and I wasn't sure.
Oh no! I've been doing stand-up for 20 years. I don't dabble.
Okay, that's good. Have you been getting up much in the last 6 months or so?
Well, since all my gigs have been canceled due to COVID, no, I haven't. But Christy, to say I dabbled in stand-up is so disrespectful. I haven't been disrespectful to you at all. And yet you respect me and say I dabbled.
I didn't. I mean, I could have picked a different word. I didn't know that it was your main thing, honestly.
I dabbled in stand-up. Okay. I mean that's so disrespectful, and I'm doing your show.
I honestly don't know the extent to which you do stand-up. I mean, isn't that the point of an interview? Is like, oh, you can correct me if I'm wrong about something.
No. You dabbled in stand-up when?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know. I don't know how much stand-up you do, John. It was just
an
honest
line
thing.
play all over and say I dabbled in stand-up. Come on.
So you're
That's
more
it.
than a dabbler. That's fine.
By any chance, do you ever accidentally fart in the catcher's face? Who the hell are you?
Me. Because you did powerless laugh, and then you sit here and shut up. I mean, you just shut up. Do some work and shut up. You gotta pick on it. Because you don't do anything. You don't help in any way. I'm gonna grab Stuttering John by the face. I'm gonna punch him out for friggin'. One more pull gets you and you're dead, you fat bastard. My deal? What a stupid ass Moronzak, whatever you call yourself.
All right, here it is.
Bozozak. What the hell are you? Come on, Gabby!
The Opie and Anthony show. It wasn't Howard and Stuttering John. He was a fucking bit character on Howard Stern show. And he goes, wasn't he a local DJ who was in those 3 markets? He was on Accent Radio, you fucking idiot.
One of Artie's big things is.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of Artie fans.
See, but
I'm talking about his weight. I'm talking about his fucking the heroin he's got in his pocket.
Oh.
As a comedian, you're a comedian, right?
Yes, I dabble.
And the Dabbleverse was born.
Are you ready? I read the news.
Look at that little look over to his friend, which we'll get into more.
Yeah, you a horrible thing. And come on.
So you're
That's
more
it.
than a dabbler. That's fine.
What's the main character's name? Who cares? It's Stuttering John. This is basically his fan fiction that he wrote for himself.
Remember when Shuli and Benji, remember those guys?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those guys, man. They were cool guys.
It's his whole show now. It's so sad.
Performance. I'm sure I said, hang in there with the guy. Let him develop a little bit. Maybe he'll.
Tapes of you and Kate are funny, drunk, and pathetic. Yeah, I was definitely drunk. Lawsuits are about as real as.
Well, Keith, I'm sorry. I apologize. I love.
Look at this fucking dummy. This drooling, fucking inept, low IQ, horrible father, douchebag.
I met a patron of the Scotland Yard pub who knew John and agreed to be interviewed and recorded. I agreed not to share his name. He only answered a few questions.
What did you think of John's podcast?
Well,
his politics are different to mine. And not that I'm really into politics anymore, but he was kind of passionate about it.
When it comes to politics, do you think he's knowledgeable?
It's not so much knowledgeable, it's more spinning. So he's knowledgeable enough to know how to spin shit.
Does John introduce himself as a celebrity?
Yeah, I would say pretty much I learned that in the first 5 minutes or 3 minutes. And I'm not a very social person. Pretty much, yeah, that's how he introduces himself, especially to women.